Welcome to Ask Us Anything on Sunday night after the Super Show.
Whew, after the Tampa RV Super Show, what a fast, action-packed week it was.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was just great weather up until the weekend. Then it rained on Saturday, yesterday, and today. The show ended right about now. It's ending, officially ending. But the show, the weather really, the rain really cut down afternoon attendance yesterday. And but the earlier part of the week was just glorious. Temperatures in the 80s.
It was in the
and
80s
hot.
for about 2 days in a row, and Bo and I were panting.
We will have lots of videos, lots of content coming over the next few weeks about some of the things we saw, some of the things we experienced, and we'll be sharing that in the videos and on our Wednesday podcast. And any of the questions that you guys might ask us tonight, we'll go after. We're coming to you. We decided that we like this weather down here so much. We're going to stick around Florida for a while, for another week or two. And we're on Okaloosa Island tonight.
I think a week here and then a week in Linden.
Yeah, then we're going up to Tennessee. And we will have a meet and greet for those who are coming up to Linden, Tennessee for that, the last phase of the Woodlands. And we'll be there on February 4th. I think 10 o'clock in the morning on for a couple hours to say hi to everybody.
Mhm.
And that's always fun, but we're going to be there anyway. So we said, hey, we'll come by and say hello to the folks that are looking for land. So we're going to enjoy the Florida sun, which we're supposed to have tomorrow.
Mhm.
And I see we had snow over parts of the Midwest. So I'm sorry for all of you who have snow, unless you're glad to have snow. This is Ask Us Anything, and that's what we're here to. Anything you want to know about the RV lifestyle, we're here to take your questions and your comments. And thank Phyllis over in Iowa for moderating and putting the questions up, and for Chris over in Chris is in Illinois, and he's moderating everything over on YouTube. And we are simulcasting this on LinkedIn, our Facebook group, our Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter. All of that is going out. It's amazing, really. This whole social media thing. It's live, really. All right, let's see what we got for questions and comments from all of you. Start off with our friend. The first on tonight is Ed Richards, who's in, he says, chilly, South Louisiana.
I love the videos from the Tampa show. Well, except for the window.
Except for the broken window. Yes.
That was not a good way to start it.
That was, if you follow us, that was Monday. And I will have a full mea culpa video admitting to my mistakes. I'll operator error, but it will also be educational on how you can avoid that happening to you. So stay tuned. The window is fixed. We found a great guy to come out and put a new one in. It took him about an hour.
Two men came.
He and his buddy, and it was great. So we'll tell you the whole story if you want. If you ask questions, we can go on to it even here. But because this is Ask Us Anything, you know. But we will have a full video on what happened.
You just did that so that everybody out there'd feel good, and you'd have a video to make.
No, that was a terrible way to start. I love my truck, and I felt so bad for it. We didn't do any damage to the RV at all, to the fifth wheel, our Arcadia, but we did destroy the rear window of my Ford F-250. But it's all fixed now. Mm-hmm. It's like the accident never happened. Mm-hmm. So thanks, Ed. Bradley Olson.
At most of the RV shows, are there camping areas close to the venue? And how long in advance would you suggest getting a spot?
Well, I don't know about a lot of that's the ice maker. What was that? I don't know about a lot of the regional shows, but the great big ones like Tampa and like certainly Hershey, there is usually boondocking on the show grounds. Mm-hmm. It does fill up fast. Some of it is first come, first served, like at Hershey. But at Tampa, you can actually reserve spots, and a lot of RV owner groups, would have rented spots where they would boondock together for a couple, 3 days, and they would have like a little mini rally on the showgrounds. There are a million campgrounds, of course, in and around Florida, and we talked to a lot of people who were staying at those. But you need, like everything, in Florida in January, it's highly in demand, and people book those sites long in advance.
I was surprised how many people had hotel rooms.
Yes, we met a lot of people who just stayed in hotels.
And a lot of people flew in.
We did that
just
a
for the
couple of
show.
times,
Yeah,
a
we
couple of
flew in
years.
once for
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah. This time we camped. We were right on there's a little area for media and vendors, and we stayed there at full hookups, but really narrow spots. But we were all hanging together, and it was kind of fun. A bunch of other so-called YouTubers and influencers, or whatever they call us, just not late for dinner. We were all together, had a great time with them one evening, did a little barbecue, and it was nice to be in warm weather at night in January again. So there are, Brad, just as early as possible. As soon as you're sure you're going to go, get a spot. That's the best way. T Arsenal, and I should say, Brad, you find that out by looking at at the show website, and then look for camping. If they have camping, they always have a link to it on their website. T Arsenal with a question. Oh, he's just saying hi from Lake Placid, Florida. And Jeff Cosmos.
Hi from Panama City Beach.
53 miles to our east, Panama City Beach. Ron Wujeka.
Hello from upstate New York. Beautiful area of the country, upstate New York.
Our friend Tom McAllister, says he was going to come to the show Wednesday.
Okay, Tom Cat, we're driving into the show. We're going to drive into the show Wednesday, but the line of cars was too long. I said to Mike, I wonder how many people are not going to come because of the humongous traffic jam.
That was the day we did the test drive in the Winnebago all-electric RV, America's first all-electric drivetrain and electrical system, an ERV. And we went from the little test ground that they had, track that they had set up for us, and we were driving back. And I remember shooting video of all those cars lined up trying to get in the main entrance.
There
and that
has
was
to be a better way.
That was like at noon.
Yeah,
so, and it
there
had been
has
like
to be a
that
better
since
way.
8 a.m.
There has to be a better way to get people situated at these shows.
They were going to set a record, but they were doing about 20,000 a day. I think they had 20,000 come through Wednesday. I thought that stat. So James Massey.
Well, he wants to know about that ERVT prototype. It was interesting. What does Winnebago believe the target mileage range needs to be?
Well, they wouldn't comment, James, on the target range of mileage, but they would say that they believe that if you could get a 3-hour drive time from the batteries, that it would be very commercially viable. And in general, that works out to, 200, 250 miles or so on travel across highways or state highways or interstates. So, but they're targeting drive time, and they were talking about, they thought that the goal should be something like 3 hours. This is just a prototype, this EV. It is not ready for prime time. And they made that clear. And in our video, I think I said it 3 times. But people were all saying that's outrageous because it only gets 108 miles right now between charges. And that's why it's not commercially available.
And you have to start someplace.
Yeah, they're testing it all out and improving everything. And, I personally think that before EV RVs are viable, I think we're 10 years out, really. I mean, they'll be sold before then, maybe in 5, but you need a whole new infrastructure. We'll talk more about this in the podcast coming up on Wednesday, but they're starting, and it's interesting. And
I'm glad I got to drive it.
Yeah, you did.
Gives me some bragging rights.
It was fun. It was fun driving it.
Yeah, because it's something new and it's the future.
Yep. Good to see you there, James. Road trip buddy.
Wow. Look at Mike's beard. What kind of food at the RV show?
Yeah, look at my beard, because
the food, I think, in Tampa is better. They have better choices
than Hershey. Yes, I think.
I mean,
well, I think
you can still get the elephant ears and the corn dogs, but you can also get, well, I guess you can get a Greek salad and Hershey too.
The thing that Hershey, they're all in one specific area, whereas in Tampa, they have food areas throughout the whole fairground. So you can be over in one section and there's food, and they're much more I think smart in putting food at different parts than they do at Hershey. And Hershey, they're all in one little food truck row sort of thing. But the food was, it's like you call it carnival food.
Well, I mean, you could find it was expensive. Well, everything's
Yeah.
expensive. A lemonade was $8.
Yeah. A beer was $13. $13 for like a Michelob Ultra, $13. But yeah, anyway, the beard, this is 2 weeks. Look at it, because it's going. As soon as I go off the air, this was my progress report after 2 weeks. I am shaving it off tonight.
Miss Boss, it doesn't feel so picky. You kind of like go
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. We've never had a beard. I've always, I think it would look okay.
I think he looks good with the beard.
Well, they don't see it very well. Let me get really close. Can you see this thing? I look at it and I go, why is that over my face? But yeah, I want to shave it off tonight. It's bugging me. T. Arsenault.
Have you pre-ordered your next LTV?
No, we haven't gotten nearly enough use out of the one that we have. So we do hope to take that on a couple of trips. We just got one in September. So the wait is just incredible. 2 years.
No, 3 years.
For the Wonder.
No, 5 years for the Wonder.
5 years for a Wonder.
3 years for the Unity.
Oh my gosh. That's insane.
You must be having trouble getting the
chassis. Yeah.
Ford chassis.
We thought we've toyed around, because we haven't used ours nearly as much. We've toyed around with selling it because we have been using the fifth wheel a lot, but we do like
having
it.
both.
Yeah, and we met a number of other people who have two RVs, a big one, a fifth wheel or a bumper tow trailer, and they keep that like we keep ours at a certain spot in our Tennessee land, and then you use the motorhome to travel about and do.
And I can
trips.
see us using the our leisure, because when we moved to the other side of the state to come back
Michigan.
to this side of the state to see our daughter and do different things.
Well, we're actually in Florida now, so
that's true. I don't know where I am anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not sure where I am.
Yeah, but Cy, the car guy.
I bet you both are worn out from the show. Appreciate all the hard work and videos from Southern Illinois.
Thank you. We are tired, but it's a good kind of tired, right? Because we had so much fun. I think, people always ask us, what's the highlight of the show? And the highlight are all the people that we got to interact with.
Yep.
And like we tell people, we don't know who's out there watching our stuff. We're doing video, we're writing content, and, we're talking to a typewriter or we're talking to a little camera. But when you actually see people and they tell you that they've watched and that it means something, we get so much encouragement that it keeps you going. It really does.
They don't just say that they watched, they can tell you things that you put in there. But the one that was interesting was the one person who said, "Oh, you're back together again."
Yeah, somebody's. I don't know. You guys might know this because we don't watch any other YouTubers except us.
Somebody out there
we
break
don't
up?
have time to do any others except watch our stuff.
But it made us laugh.
But did somebody break up? Because somebody said, "Oh, we're so glad that you two are back together." We looked at each other and we thought, okay, I guess we are too. So we don't know what they were talking about, but that was funny. We scratching our head. What are they talking about? Okay,
because there's so many people out there. It's hard to keep everybody straight.
Yeah, they do. And people sometimes, mistake the stories we've done for something that somebody else did.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
If you ever got a big ego, you get chopped down real quick.
You could get chopped down really quick when they say, "Yeah, we love you. And we watch so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so." And oh, I see. Facebook user.
Other than command strips, what do you recommend to hang pictures and etc.?
That's all I use is command strips. Well, I shouldn't say that because it's like command strips, but the sticky mount that come with mixed tiles, that's what we have the pictures that we put up on our RVs. It comes with some backing on it, and it's really strong, and it doesn't leave a mark on the wall. It doesn't pull the coverings off or anything that make scuff marks or peel off the wallpaper or whatever is underneath the pressed wood on RVs. But that's all we use, and we drive down the road. They've never fallen off. Nothing's fallen off yet, and that's 10 years of using that stuff. So
you want to tell people what we did with our fifth wheel?
What did we do with their fifth
today?
wheel? Oh yeah, we are at our condo on Okaloosa Island, and there's no room to park our fifth wheel. So it's the first time I've used them. The company contacted me, wanted me to do a story a few months ago, and I really want to do one now on it. It's called Neighbor, and it works sort of like Boondockers Welcome, only it's for people who have places where you can store your RVs or your boats. They're not commercial places, although I think a couple of them are. In the case, we found a guy not too far from here who has his family has 40 acres, and he puts you out there in the field, and we couldn't be happier. We dropped our fifth wheel off. It's going to stay there for a week, 10 days, and we'll pick it up when we go up to our Tennessee property. But a great service. We need to do a story, or maybe get an interview with those folks for the podcast. It's called Neighbor. I believe it's just neighbor.com, and it's pretty neat. Neat
Because
thing.
we didn't know what we were going to do, because we didn't want to try to find a spot in a regular RV park.
We actually thought about driving all the way up to Tennessee and leaving it there and then coming back down here. But, Florida's a big state.
Long.
We drove down that peninsula, and then you had to come way up here and then go over in the Panhandle. And so we're delighted that we found that that service. Try it yourself if you ever need to start. He said that he has other RVers who are rented condos, and they keep them there. And there's a bunch of places like that.
And he semis?
Yeah, the semi. Somebody was going to spend some time with family and friends, and he left a semi there. So
we don't know who we're talking to out there.
Yeah, Ty Webb.
Let's see. Mike came through Atlanta today at 3:30 p.m. and only slowed for about 10 minutes. Unfortunately, several other wrecks caused us nearly 2 hours delay on our trip today, heading to St. Augustine.
Yeah, Atlanta. If I never go through Atlanta again, but I say that every time I go through Atlanta, and I always go through it again. So yeah, it's just dreadful
for the
travel.
Tampa show.
Sunday's a little better, but we can usually get around going through Tampa. But for this show, we had to come down I-75, and we have a couple of grandsons who live just north of Atlanta, and we got a chance to see one of them on the way down. So that was fun. Tony Mueller.
Let's see. How do we get internet when RVing?
Probably the most commonly asked question about the RV lifestyle. Well, there's so many different ways, some people, if they don't need it intensely, just use their cell phones and use their cell phones as a hotspot for their tablets and computers. Others pick up a small little MiFi card from Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile and use that. Then there are those who really have to have solid internet. They use Starlink, which is Elon Musk's satellite system. It's about $135 a month plus the equipment. And that's very reliable, although it's not as fast as we all hoped it would be, at least east of the Mississippi. Out west, where there's not quite so many Starlink subscribers, it's a little better. Other people use higher end routers. We're right now testing two, one from Nomad Internet, the Nomad Air router, and you buy the router and then you buy the unlimited service from them. And the other one is from RV and Go, and we have been using that for about a year. And it's the same thing. You buy a router. In that case, the router has both T-Mobile and Verizon. So I have either system I can go on depending on which is strongest. So there's a million ways to do it. Obviously, if you're going to pay for the best service, you're going to pay, a couple $100 a month, plus oftentimes the router. So it depends on your needs, Tony, what you want, how important it is, and whether you're willing to spend that much money. But that's what most full-timers spend, and that's what most people who are really dependent on the internet spend. $150 a month, at least $130 for internet service, and that's what you got to spend. Just kind of like at home. RVlifestyle.com/neighbor. We made a quick link for it, or a pretty link for it. There you go. That's the place that did the storage that we were just telling you about. Go check them out. I was really impressed with it. and I found several different options to store, but I couldn't be happier with where we have it. And it's great in a really neat area. And it's not far from, for us, as we head from here to Tennessee in 10 days. All right. Let's see if we got any more questions. Inka Schultz.
Comment. Sorry to miss you at the meetup at Tampa. Could not find you guys. Maybe next time. We looked at Coach House RVs, very similar to LTVs.
Yeah. First of all, on the Coach House, we will have a video. One of our viewers asked us to check it out, and really, Coach House, I think, will make our list of the best Class Cs, and we do that story coming up in a few weeks. Their new Ultra 4, I think it's the Ultra 4, is the most fabulous Class C I have seen. And they have 2 bedrooms even, and it's not that big. I forget what, but it's just, I'm getting confused. We've seen so many RVs in this last week. But anyway, it's awesome. Coach House is just, and they're all made to order. Just really nice. Now, missing us at the meetup. Yes, it was a crazy time. We had a bunch of you who showed up, but we thought that there'd be more. And then we heard for the next 2 days from, hey, we went to your meetup and you weren't there, or nobody knew you were where you were in the pavilion. So there was some confusion. The area where we met everybody was in a covered pavilion that is where they sell food. And there is another spot where influencers rented rooms and we're having meetups there. And that was sometimes called the pavilion.
And I think that's where everybody went, where people had assigned time slots and their names were there. And originally, weren't they going to charge $250?
They originally were going to charge $250, and I got really mad and said, "No, I will not do that. That we're bringing you guys people."
And then they decided that they weren't going to charge $250, and then they all were gone because there weren't that many spots.
But so anyway, I had a lot of people say they showed up and they said, "We don't know where they are. They aren't here." Well, we were just down the way a bit, but I think it
was a life lesson. I think it was different this year.
I think that the takeaway for us is when we do meetups at shows and stuff, we're going to meet after show hours in a restaurant or maybe a mini microbrewery or something like that. And while we're talking about it, a couple asked us if we wanted to do one in Florida up here in the Panhandle, on the Emerald Coast where we are now, this week. And we said, well, maybe. And I'm wondering how many of you are in the Emerald Coast area, and would you be interested in a meetup Saturday, late Saturday afternoon, and would pick a fun spot in, say, Destin? Let us know in the comments, or you can email Jen and I at mikeandjen@rvlifestyle.com. And if we do set up a meetup here, we will post it all over the RV Lifestyle social media accounts. Side the Car Guy.
It looks like the videos I have seen from the RV show, the pricing has come down from the suggested manufacturer's pricing.
Side, that's a gimmick. It really is. Yes, it has. It is like that every year at the show. Suggested retail $127,000 on sale at the show only $97,000. And but if you went into the dealership next week, you could buy it for the same or maybe even less. So
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think so. They
aren't those a lot of those from a dealer that they had them on their lot and they're trying to
get
rid
a lot
of
them. There are, but and they do try and price them low, but these aren't. There's not a trend really of lower prices that I'm seeing anywhere.
I never looked at either Leisures to see what their prices were.
They were high.
They were high.
They sold all the ones they had in the lot too.
But they have 6 of them.
Yeah, I think so. Deborah Sned.
Are there any leisure vans at the show? Looking for the rear twin bed wonder. Been on wait list for $5,000 down for 3 years. Oh.
Yeah, they had some at the show, but
did.
They're all sold. And they had everything there. They had all their models there, but everyone had a sold sticker on it when we walked out.
They were at the show, and
but they told us,
if you don't have one for next year, get to the show the first day.
They said that the Wonder wait list was 5 years.
5 years now.
That's what Don said.
Yeah.
5 years. And the Unity was 3 years, which, wow. Now, all that certainly will come down because people will put a deposit down like you did and say, "Oh, I'm not waiting that long," and then they'll cancel it, and somebody else will move up a little. But the wait is insane.
Somebody told me that I won't say what dealership, that when you put money down and then you get tired of waiting and you go away, that if that vehicle comes in, they just sell it. They don't go to next in line. That kind of makes sense.
That makes
they
sense.
would just put it on the lot, and if you lucked out,
yeah, because if
and
they
you
put
would
it on the
accept
lot,
it
it's
with
gone.
a pink interior and
Yeah,
black
yeah.
stripes.
Yeah, it is. Danny Crace.
What is the easiest vehicle to install a base plate on for towing?
I think any of the towable cars or trucks that are out there. Talk with somebody like from Blue Ox and ask them, but they've got this down, and not every vehicle can be towed, so you got to make sure that the vehicle can be towed 4 wheels down. Some of them you can't disengage the transmission or whatever you have to do to make it towable. But all of them, pretty much anything that can be towed that way can easily have a base plate installed. It's a complicated half-day procedure that you're going to have done at a dealership, but I know of none that you can't do it with. So, at least the ones that are towable. Cynthia Broadus.
Question: have you ever visited Mill Creek RV at Mackinac City? We have a work camper gig there this summer.
Yes, we have camped there ourselves. It's a great spot. Lots of rallies there. It's right on Lake Huron, right across Lake Huron from Mackinac Island. Very popular site. Right down next year, the lumberjack shows that are pretty fun for everybody to see. It's just a little bit outside of Mackinac City towards Sheboygan, right on US 23. Beautiful park, very popular park. Lots of rallies held there. You're going to love it. But it's big. It's really a big place.
Big.
Yeah, big place. John Zoshnik.
Comment: we are first-time visitors to Arizona from Michigan. We traveled from Lake Havasu City South and can't believe all the BLM, Bureau of Land Management, RV camping. Impressive.
Especially this time of year, 100,000 plus people this week at Quartzsite for the big rock and mineral and RV show under the big tent there. The desert is filled right now, as it is every January, with boondockers on those free sites at the BLM land. Really nice stuff. Mm-hmm. Nice area. We're going to do Quartzsite next year instead of Tampa. We decided that. We almost went this year. We went 2 years ago to Quartzsite, and we'll go back. I think we're going to kind of go back and forth because those are the 2 big January events, and we'll kind of alternate each year with them. Starting next year, we'll be at Quartzsite and then back to Tampa the following. Steve Egbert.
How is the house coming along?
Oh, the remodel house on our Michigan property. Not very well.
Not very well.
It's not coming along well at all. It's
windows don't come in.
Yeah, stuff comes in damaged.
We blew it. We should have done an HGTV program so that, like, when they ripped the wood paneling down and they could see the wood paneling was glued to the drywall.
Yeah.
And the electrical wasn't right.
Yeah, we should go shoot this right. Like HG.
And that they spray painted.
But oh my God, you watch HGTV and it doesn't go that way. I mean, I cannot believe how long it's taken. And every promise that we've had about when it'll be done has not come true, and it is very, very frustrating. And but the new house. But
we are not homeless.
No, we've got 2 RVs and a condo and land in Tennessee. So
I mean,
but nevertheless, I don't know if we would have done it or done this remodel. We would not.
We would not.
If we had really known what it was going to be like. It's very depressing. But I'm telling you, anybody who's done this knows what I'm going through, and they'll say, just that's the way it is, I guess. Stewardess.
New to RV, brought new Keystone in July with dealer until October due to manufacturer defects. South Carolina then found 2.4K damage while at dealer. No recourse now with the insurance. What is this all about?
I have no idea. I have
Sounds
no
like they're
idea.
having a lot of problems. This
Get
was
an
new.
attorney. Get
This
an
was a new
attorney.
keystone in July.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You
Can't
know,
help you.
it sounds like you got a mess on your hands. I don't know what to tell you. Get an attorney if they're not giving you grief, if they're giving you grief, because that doesn't sound like you have a good situation, but there's always recourse. So put some pressure on them, get an attorney. Yeah, it'll cost you to hire an attorney, and they'll at least write some letters and maybe get things moving. But that's crazy. If you bought it in July, you didn't get it until October, and then there's all sorts of stuff that's been damaged about the dealer. You have some legal issues that you need to take up and not take, no recourse as an answer. So get somebody to fight your cause there. Linda Lanassa.
Do you hire an RV inspector when you purchase a new one?
You probably should. As the question below just said, if he had hired one, if there was they probably would have found that stuff. So yes, hire an inspector. Yeah, you're going to spend a couple $100. Yeah, the dealer does not want you to do that because inspectors always find something. And let's face it, most RVs always have some stuff to be found. And but yeah, hire one. This is too big of an expense not to have some idea of what you're getting into, and you don't want to be surprised like the question before.
I figure it's kind of like home inspectors. You hire the home inspector and they don't find everything. You really think an RV inspector is going to find everything?
Oh yeah, an RV inspector is going to find a lot. Yeah, they will. They know what to check for, and if they've been an inspector for a while, they know different models, what they tend to have issues with, and it may not be anything that's going to stop you from buying it, but at least you'll go in with your eyes wide open. And I just think that peace of mind from having an inspector is really important. So good luck to you, Linda.
Is there a good place to find an inspector?
Yep, there's RV Inspectors Association. Okay. Bob Leach.
Did you see any of the OAS models?
No. Who's OS? I don't know who that is. I don't know, Bob. Who at OASI? I probably
besides
should.
The 540.
I should, but I'm a little punchy tonight.
You've been doing all the driving.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about with all those initials and the numbers. So I don't know. We saw a lot of RVs. That's all I can tell you.
A little punchy.
I am.
I think I am a little punchy.
I'm tired
tonight.
It just hit me, just today, but it was so much fun. We had such a good time with everybody.
Well, today was a tough drive because it was pouring rain.
Yeah, but we listened to a book. We
listened
to John
to
Grisham's new book. Kevin Sherman.
What type of vehicle do you pull behind your leisure travel van?
We don't. We just use it. It's not that big. It's 24 feet something and change, but we can get in most parking lots. We're able to use it to run around a little bit. It's still sometimes a little, big.
We're talking about getting something to pull someday.
We're thinking about, we have an Equinox that can be pulled four wheels down. And the
big thing is it's $5,000 for a hitch.
Yeah, it's about $5,000 for the plate and to set it all up. But still, that would be nice to have. One of the things that we really appreciate with the fifth wheel is the ability to have the truck to go run around and explore with. Like at the show, for example, we went and we used the truck to take us to a party. What?
I'm thinking about when we went and bought groceries.
Oh,
we didn't have a back window.
Yeah.
And Bo was
horrified. We didn't have a back window when we went to the party either, but we were in a parking lot.
We had to go buy groceries and I had to share shotgun seat.
That's right.
I had my seatbelt on.
When the window broke, Bo was in the back seat and it exploded, and he just bounded over the seat and into Jennifer's lap. We didn't think we would ever get him back in, but anyway, having a vehicle to drive around is really nice. It's really nice. Mm-hmm. RV home.
Did you see that Overlander? It was huge and pretty nice looking inside.
We saw several Overlanders, Storybook Overlander makes a great Class B. And of course, they have all those at their display. They had all those global expedition vehicles, zombie apocalypse survival vehicles, I call them.
That's what we need next.
No.
Oh.
I will admit there's some things too big. I do like them though. But we saw some of those and lots of Overlanders. That's a big new trend. We've heard from some industry people about some pretty exciting Overlander RV motorhome development that's coming out down the pike very shortly. Hopefully we can get a sneak peek at it in Elkhart and be able to do a video on that someday.
I think this show was the show of talking to dealers and manufacturers, and
we got a lot
as
more
well as-
insider information than we have in a long
Yeah.
time. And there's just some really neat, there's been a lot of research and development, a lot of neat stuff that's coming out, I think.
So instead of trying to look at all 1,500 RVs.
Yeah, we only did 1,200. No, that's what it felt like.
But it seemed like we were pulled to a lot of meetings.
So the video, I'm not sure how I'm going to do the videos. If I was going to do one epic tour video next Saturday, but I think it'd be like 45 minutes long. And I just don't know how to break it all up. Last year we did it, I think, in Class A's, Class B's, Class C's. I'm not going to do that again. But we have I think I just didn't do one epic one, but we did everything from toy haulers.
Plan on seeing you for a while.
Yeah, from toy. Yeah, I'll need your voice though, so you can't go too far. From toy haulers to little tiny, small little on the back camper van type things, campers.
That's next, ladies and gentlemen, a toy hauler.
Yeah, well, I don't have any toys, so I'd have to get some toys. Like an ATV, and that looked pretty cool. Anyway. Thanks, sidecar guy. Yeah, appreciate you asking questions tonight. All right, Joey F.
FMCA has a tow guide.
Yes, they do that every year. It's really good. The FAC is a Family RVing, I think, is the name of their publication. Their magazine, FMCA, great organization. Every February they put the vehicles that can be flat towed or all four wheels down.
And it's also fun to go to one of their rallies.
Yes, we used to go to their rallies all the time. We used to do seminars at them. They are really
for their magazine.
I used to write a column for their magazine. Yeah, it is. They have really nice. Every different manufacturer, they have their own little area where they all camp in. So it's like mini rallies every night. Great seminars, really good entertainment. And a good, vendors and stuff. If you haven't ever been to an FMCA rally, I urge you to try one because they're really fun. I think the next one is coming up in just not too far from now in Perry, Georgia, I believe this year. Facebook user.
Have you ever stayed in or near New Orleans? If so,
we
where?
like the state. I can't remember the state park now. There's a state park right across the bridge there, right across the freeway from downtown, and that's where we stay. Just look it up. It's the closest one to New Orleans, and it's a really nice state park.
There was a group of us, and one of our dear friends got a dog sitter.
Yes.
And Bo and her dog went off to spend the day with this person. This person even came and picked up the dogs and cared for them for the day.
And
it was wonderful.
And we went in and had a great time in New
Orleans.
Didn't
have to worry about our pet.
And it's close enough you can have a Uber driver come and they'll pick you up too and take you downtown, drop you off, and you can get right back. It's very convenient. But I can't remember the name of the state park, but it's right there. Ralph Price. Oh, you had to ask that, didn't you, Ralph?
How do you know?
How do you know?
That before we end all this, I will have an Airstream.
Jennifer has wanted an Airstream. Can we say that? Since we started RVing 10 years ago.
How about when we got married?
Yeah, when we first got married, we started camping. We had a Shasta travel trailer, and you really wanted an Airstream then. And she has always wanted an Airstream. And we went through all of the.
It's like a fishing lure. They're silver and shiny.
Yeah, silver and shiny. They really are nice. And yes, I would like an Airstream. I really would. We've never talked to the folks at Airstream. But we go through them and we drool a little bit on all of them this year. We went through several models this year, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful RVs. Always have been, and there's this mystique. They're made in. We want to go through the factory in Ohio, but
that's what we have to do. We'll go do factory tours instead of going to shows.
Yeah, but I think we would both like one someday. Susan Korenchuk.
Are you going to be camping for the eclipse next year? If so, where?
We had talked about it, but there's a bigger one coming in 2024. So we haven't figured it out yet. We're lucky to know what we're doing next week. It's the way it's been going.
Lucky to know what we're doing tomorrow.
Yeah. What are we doing tomorrow? Oh, I know what we're doing tomorrow. doing
Tomorrow's
the podcast.
podcast.
Tomorrow's writing
If it's
and
Monday, it's
editing the
podcast.
podcast. Yes. So I don't know if we're going to be able, I don't know if we can put one together
Everybody
fast
keeps
enough.
asking what we're going to do for gatherings.
Yes, we talked about another one in Indiana this summer. We've talked about doing one in Arizona. We've talked about
We've been doing some talking.
we talked about one in Maryland too, at that Harvest Host place with
Mhm.
with
Lisa
Jimmy.
and Jimmy.
Yeah. So I don't know. We've got several ideas. We just have to get our team together and figure it all out.
We have this
You
complication.
guys can help us. Just tell us where you want to go, and the more people. Oh, and we've also thought about doing
Huntsville.
one in Huntsville for next fall, Huntsville, Alabama. Susie and Jerry from our friends from Huntsville have come up with several suggested places. So we've got a lot of options to look at.
We're not careful. It's
Bayou
in our
Signet
backyard.
State Park. That's the one.
Yes.
Ed.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Ed. You probably answered that right away, and we just got to it. But thank you. That's where we stay near New Orleans. Great spot. Just a little bit east of where Ed is in Baton Rouge. All right, so let's see where else we have for you guys as we kind of figure out how our day is going. Look how long we've been going. Always do a pitch towards the end of the program for our partners. Many people, these are all the products that we use and recommend, and many of them have great discounts for you. So if you've never been to our partners page, check that out. We also have a gear page where we list all of our all the things we use that you can check as well. And Amazon, just go there. That's our Amazon influencer page where all the products that we mention, that we test and stuff, we put links there, and that's updated all the time. So go there.
Too bad we didn't have a prize for which of the little rascals does my hair look like.
Oh, yeah. You kind of do look like alfalfa. Look at that. I don't know if I'm allowed
does
to
its own
touch
thing.
it.
You can touch it.
Here
It
we go.
won't go down.
Watch me get punched out.
It's doing its own thing.
And Singer.
Do you think a 67 single lady can do this? Yes,
Of course.
you can.
Come on. Why would you even ask that?
I know 77-year-old single ladies that are doing this travel.
We know 90-year-old single guys that are doing this travel cross country. So absolutely you can.
And there's a lot of women's groups.
You know, unless you have physical disability of some sort or you're really limited health-wise, but absolutely there are probably more solo senior women RVers out there than you would even begin to imagine. We meet them all the time.
And there are a lot of women that travel by themselves who are married. Their husbands don't want to travel, and the women travel.
We just had a 78-year-old solo female traveler join us on our winter camp out up at Tequamanon Falls, all alone, all by herself. She comes every year, has no problem at all. So absolutely, Ann. Don't let age and being single stop you here. Johnny Lightning. Hey, we met Johnny. There really is a Johnny Lightning. We met him at our meet and greet the other day, and he wants to know if we've ever used the under rig Valterra Stinky Slinky tube. How did you like it? I don't use the tube, but I have the Valterra. It's kind of like a gate that you can open and close, so you don't be dumping your stuff out when you take the top off. I don't know if there's a tube, but I use the Valterra. It's a gate, you know, it's like a valve close. You stick it on where the fill comes out for your dump, and then you keep it closed, and then you can hook up your stuff and unhook it. And because it's closed, nothing's going to spill out on the ground, which you don't want to happen. So I recommend everybody get one of those that has that gravity dump. Such an unpleasant task, but it was great to meet you, Johnny Lightning, in person. Joanne Neely, our friend Joanne.
Yes, Joanne. Huntsville sounds great. So many things to do.
Yeah, that's our leading contender for our fall.
We have to contact Susie and Jerry.
Well, we'll see them. Maybe we'll
see
see them
next week
up in the first weekend of February. We'll see if we can get them up that way. Bob Leach.
I wonder how the 90+ something man you interviewed on the podcast a few months back is doing. Now that is inspirational.
I just saw him posted on Facebook this past week, and he was in San Diego, California. He was having all sorts of fun out there. So he's doing great. I think he's traveled twice cross country in the last 6-7 months. So yeah, he's doing wonderful. Okay. We're a little tired, so we're going to kind of go, and I've got to go shave my beard off, but I told you I'd grow one, and that's 2 weeks worth. And now you get a chance to see what I look like. Santa Claus I would look like if I kept going. I don't know. So this is all going. It's going to be a mess. It's driving me nuts. So you beard guys, I've never had one before. Hats off to you. It itches like crazy. And Jennifer doesn't like me kissing her with my beard. She says it's picky.
I do think it feels like it's getting softer right now, which everybody says it gets softer. in
Try
fact.
kissing me? Come on, should you?
Oh,
You guys should
Mike,
pound
come
on
on.
the glass.
Grow up.
I need all the
Oh,
help
that
I
wouldn't
can
be
get.
any fun.
It wouldn't be any fun to grow up. All right, you guys. Hey, we just thank you so much for being with us tonight. We'll be back next week, probably still from down this part of Florida.
Yeah,
I think.
probably still here.
If we end up doing a meet and greet, it would be Saturday afternoon, and we'd see if we can find a little bar or a microbrewery or something in Destin, Florida. If you're in that area and would like to join us, say at 4:00, 3:34 or something like that. But I got to make some phone calls, and I can't do that until after we get the podcast done and put that to bed. And we do, that's our Monday is our podcast production day. So thank you guys for watching so far. We enjoyed, if you were among those we met in Tampa, it was so fun to meet everybody. We really enjoyed all that. We'll see you all down the road next week. Be safe.
Happy trails.